Hi guys, it's the Spurred on podcast and time for some more Tottenham news, including some transfer news, of course. I don't know if you've seen the Johan Lang interview today where he talks about what Spurs have been trying to do in the transfer window. Very interesting stuff, worth checking out on the Tottenham Hotspur website. It's our first look at him, our new kind of sporting director, head of recruitment. And he gives good interview actually. He really goes into, in some depth, what kind of the alignment is between Big Ange and the recruitment team and why they're trying to get all those ducks in a row. Specifically, actually, he talks a lot about trying to get young, hungry talent with the correct attributes that Ange is looking for to play his particular brand of football. So that's very exciting. But also, more transfer news coming out around the papers, etc. And the one that won't go away at the moment is Niiko Williams of Athletic Bilbao. He is a left winger, of course. He's had 15 goal contributions already this season. That's 5 goals and 10 assists. And all the rumours are that he has a £43 million release clause. That, to me, makes him particularly gettable. That is very much in Tottenham Hotspur's wheelhouse, in my opinion. However, as I've mentioned in a previous video about Niiko Williams, who is a huge talent at only 21 years old, a winger, he is also interesting the biggest clubs around Europe: Arsenal, Liverpool, Munich, Barcelona and Real Madrid. But why do I think Tottenham are in that conversation? Because, once again, not many of those clubs even are as financially sound as we are. When you think of the profit and sustainability rules, financial fair play, not many clubs are bringing in the kind of revenue, especially through our ground, that we are. And also, obviously, the revenue we brought in from Harry Kane. Now, I know a lot of you will say, well, we've spent that, sure. But that means that the revenue we're bringing in through the stadium has not been spent yet. So that's why it excites me. Niiko Williams, 11 caps, 2 goals for Spain. A real talent. It's very exciting for these rumours to keep coming up. I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that is a realistic signing for Tottenham Hotspur? Or do you think Arsenal or Liverpool or Munich or Barca or Real Madrid could blow us out the water? I personally think if you look at Barca and Real Madrid, especially with Real Madrid at the moment, very much rumoured to be trying to take Kylian Mbappe, and the money that would take in terms of wages, I don't think they'll be spending too many lots of £43 million, which is rumoured to be Niiko Williams' release clause. He's a dribbly winger, incredibly talented, taking on men, great finisher, highly rated. I listen to the Extra Inch, and Nathan, their tactics guy, talks about him all the time as a real talent and someone that we should absolutely be going for. So I love that rumour isn't going to go away. In terms of the likelihood of it happening, I'm going to stick to about 6.5 out of 10 at the moment. Seems a little bit too good to be true, but very exciting that he's still rumoured with us. Next up, a little non-transfer news. Alistair Gold has done an amazing interview with the academy director and coach who has worked with our new signing from Sweden, Lucas Bergvall, for over 4.5 years. His name's Peter Kisvaldi, and he's done this amazing interview with Alistair Gold. So I'm just going to pull out some of the quotes from that because it's incredibly exciting. I know we're all amazingly excited by this Swedish Wonderkid that we brought in at the end of the transfer window, who will come from Djursgården in Sweden to Tottenham Hotspur in the summer, only 18, as I said. And this coach and the academy director is almost as excited about him coming to Spurs as us Spurs fans are. So some of the quotes are: I was his coach at Brommacupiana. And the academy director there, I worked with Lucas for 4.5 years. I had him in the Boys of 2006 group, and the whole team was really successful. We were in Spain and winning a lot of tournaments, like the Madrid Cup in 2019, beating Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, PSG, Barcelona and Juventus. Lucas, as in Bergvall, was the best player in the whole tournament. I took him when he was 9 years old, and I had him until he was 14. He's always been the big player and the big star that everyone was talking about when they saw him at tournaments. So he's been growing up with it. He's great at dealing with that pressure. When we were in the indoor tournaments with 40 teams there, everyone was looking at Lucas, and he was only 10 years old. He didn't care about that, though. He's always been living with it. Already, Lucas has been on trial at Manchester United twice, at Bayern twice, and at Juventus. How exciting is that, to know that this player has been interesting all of those huge European teams, and this new Tottenham Hotspur under Big Ange, under Johan Lange, is the club that he has chosen to join. I'm so excited about it. Bergvall's coach and academy director goes on to say his best position is as a number 8. He's a box-to-box player, running into the box, and he's really good at playing the ball in between the lines. Exactly what Ange is looking for. He's a little copy of Frankie de Jong. He's really fast with the ball, really good with the ball, and a fantastic dribbler. I said in an early video, from what I've seen of Bergvall, really reminds me of a young Luka Modric, and all of those kind of attributes that his old coach is talking about there doesn't take me away from feeling that. Really, really interesting that he's talking like this. I can tell you the crowd are going to love him, he says, because he does so many good things that when you're sitting there in the stands, you're thinking, oh my God, what a player. I'm paraphrasing. He actually swore then. He said, oh, what a player. And he can do that extra special thing. He goes on to talk about his personality, which we know, under Big Ange, hugely important in terms of the players he wants to bring in. His personality is really fantastic. He's open-minded and he has a warm heart, but when he gets on the pitch, he's a winner. He has that winning mentality. The best of him is his technique. His technique is 5 out of 5 stars. His playing intelligence is fantastic. Now he's growing a lot. He's 1.87 meters tall. That's about 6 foot, 6'1", and the muscles are starting to come now. And I think that if you give him 2 years, he's going to be a top player in Europe. Absolutely. So that's a real insight from somebody who's worked with him for 4.5 years during his development as to how far he thinks he can go. Now, of course, you know, we can get excited about it, but it's also important to take everything with a pinch of salt, because we don't know what this player is going to be like when he moves to London, when he maybe has to live on his own for the first time, away from his home country. But it sounds very much like he's grounded, and I think a lot of what Tottenham like to do with these young players specifically is bring their families over with them. So I, for one, am incredibly enthusiastic about Lucas Bergvall coming over in the summer, and I love that right up to it. Next bit of news, Sonny is back. I know you'll know that already, but he's back today, Thursday, in training. Now, a lot of people are talking about, will he be given an extra rest? Obviously, he's been working hard in the Asian Cup. But my angle is, I think he will want to blow away the cobwebs of that defeat that knocked them out of the semi-final of the Asia Cup. And he will want to play against Brighton. My instinct is he'll probably be on the bench with an opportunity to come off the bench to help us if needed. Timo Werner's been doing well. He's got 3 assists already. And Sonny will have had a long flight back to get back at training this morning. So that's my instinct. But we'll have all our players back for Brighton, which is incredibly good news. Some more transfer rumours. Fabio Paratici, still, of course, working at Tottenham Hotspur as a consultant. But he likes, apparently, Riccardo Calafiori from Bologna. 21 years old, centre-back, 5 Italian caps for their under-21 side. 13 million euro market value. So if we were going to go and get him, we'd probably be looking at between 20 and 22, 23 million euros. He's a left-sided centre-half. Interesting that we're rumoured to be linked with this player. Does that potentially mean the end for Ben Davies in the summer? Or would Ben Davies become the natural left-back squad player behind Destiny Udogie? Don't know what you think about that. Let me know in the comments. What can I say about Calafiori? Well, from the very little I've seen about him, very, very brave. Loves getting on the ball. Loves getting forward. Also on the defensive side of it, good blocker, good interceptor of the ball. Reads the game really well. Stays on his feet. As Spurs fans, of course, we love a defender who stays on their feet until the very last minute. Think about Christian Romero and think about the legend that was Ledley King. Calafiori also incredibly skillful, good in the air for his height, only about 6'1", but decent in the air. And as I said, reads the game well, intercepts well. I'm going to give this one a kind of 6.5 out of 10. I'm intrigued to see us linked with another centre back at around 20 million euros. That seems a little bit much for fourth place squad player centre half, but Big Ange may well have gone to Johan Lange and said we need 4 top quality, absolutely brilliant, young, hungry centre-halves if we're going to be in Europe next season. And I would agree with him. So maybe it does make more sense than I initially thought. Finally, another transfer rumour. Rooney Bargi, the first player called Rooney, as far as I'm aware. He is just 18 years old, so may well be named after Wayne Rooney himself. He is at FC Copenhagen. He's Swedish, although he was born in Kuwait. Fascinating heritage. 7 caps and 2 goals already for Sweden's under-21s team. He's got a €9 million market value. Very young, very raw. Like I said, in Denmark, not a highly rated league. He's very small and powerful for a winger. Likes to shoot on both feet. Amazing shot on his left. Likes to cut in. Deki Kulusevski-esque. But more skillful. Also reminds me a little bit of a young Marcus Edwards. Like I said, cuts in off the left, but gets into good central positions. Good finisher off both feet, actually. Loves to beat a man. Another dribbly winger that we're being linked with. And I think it can be no surprise or coincidence that we're continually linked with these kind of players. I think if we're looking at almost doubling the amount of games potentially we have this season, next season, then Ange is already looking at how we're going to need to rotate. If you think back to when we were in the Champions League under Maurizio Pochettino, one of the first things he did was buy squad rotation players for those fullbacks. Ben Davies back then it was, and Kieran Trippier. And now it looks like Ange is doing similar things with our centre-halves and our forwards, especially the wide forwards. So that is the link. I'm going to give it a kind of 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. Not a strong tier link, but exciting to see these young, pacey, hungry, attacking players being linked with Tottenham Hotspur. Guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. As always, if you're not a member of the Spurred On Pro membership on YouTube or Patreon member, please do look in the description box as to how you can do that. It's only £1 a month and helps support my daily content for you. And most importantly, before my match preview of the Brighton game, which I'll release tomorrow, come on you Spurs.